What's up guys, Dan Chi here. Welcome to The Cage. We're gonna talk about Rage. Come on in. Guys, we had our event happen a couple of weeks ago as we're filming this. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to unpack, but I think more importantly, I want to unpack about what's gonna happen for Rage coming towards the near future, especially the pro fight that we have that's already announced, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that later on. So we're gonna set you guys down right here. With my matchmaker here, Brian. How are you, Brian?
Oh, doing good. How about you?
Good. So we're gonna talk about the last event first, and then after that, we're just gonna move on later on about our future. Okay? All right, now we're gonna start. All right, so let's talk about what has happened in the past event. I think it was great overall, right?
Yeah.
Like we had plenty of fights, but I think the one thing that we're really happy about, unfortunately kind of didn't go our way, was the fact that we actually did have 20 bouts, 20 bouts scheduled for the event, but of course with pullouts and everything. But what actually happened with the pullouts? Is it just weight missing, people getting injured?
It was mainly about people getting injured, and I mean, as you know, in this sport, we can't do much about injuries, right? So like, but it was great to see that so many people turned up and they were participating in our last Rage. And we actually were set to get kind of a little bit more than 20 bouts, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But due to like pullouts and injuries for the most part,
we emphasize on the 20 bouts is because it's been a long time in Malaysia since there was a particular event or a fight scene whereby we have like more than 20 MMA bouts in a day.
Yeah,
yeah.
MMA especially.
Yeah, MMA only. So we're kind of happy that we had such amount of bouts scheduled for our whole day. And I think we want to try to push forward to get even more. But then again, we don't want to end up being like, you know, a lot of like Muay Thai events where there's like 50, 60 bouts a day. I think that's a bit too much. Even
but that'll be the dream.
It'll be the dream. We'll probably, if that were to happen, we'll probably do like a 2-day event.
If that happens, we'll know that MMA is really growing in.
Yeah. So that would be amazing. But as per how we do our shows, is we prefer to have a smaller fight count per day because we want to maintain a quality, we want to maintain a nice production, and we want to maintain basically the flow to be nice and smooth. I think that's one of our strengths here at Rage MMA is that our events, no matter what, like things are always smooth.
It runs pretty smoothly.
Yeah, the last event also is like, I think the one thing that drove me nuts with the last event is like things were so smooth that I was like, where's the problems? Yeah, so I was really happy how things turned out, and overall as well, I think our judging and our refereeing also is getting better and better. So I think props to Ashton Thomas for helping out with the team.
Props to you, Ashton.
Yeah, because Ashton is our head of officials and he's taking care of them really, really well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off talking about our Grand Prix fights.
Okay.
I think entirely the amateur scene for the Grand Prix is like the skill level is like pretty darn crazy. The fact that even if these guys are joining us here for our Grand Prix is, you know, arguably one of our top athletes here in Malaysia. They really showcase their skills. I think a really impressive fight was actually Calvin and Aloysius. Aloysius is really like experienced. Calvin really gave a fight.
Calvin really surprised me, bro. For a boy who's like, now that was his second fight against Aloysius, he did fantastically well. I've never seen somebody who's on their second fight do that well, honestly, against especially one of the highest prospects in Singapore. So
exactly,
crazy performance.
The Aloysius kickboxing record also was like really, really high. So Calvin did really well, tried to do his best, but unfortunately got stopped in the second round. So props to Aloysius for winning, and Aloysius got finals to deal with Alvin John.
That's gonna be exciting.
Then after that we had Bastian knocking Ketam out. That was crazy.
That was. Bastian has always showcased his brute strength and just his aggression in almost all his fights. But I think that night he showcased an aggression that we've not seen before. Like that was pretty crazy, bro. Like, what do you think? What do you think about that one?
I think he's showcased that aggression, just that he haven't got past the minute. So Ketam managed to put him past that minute, but still, Bastian caught him with the right hand, and Ketam got dazed, and then he just finished him against the cage. So Bastian will be coming in and fighting against Gary. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then the final Grand Prix fight we had, Yi Xiang versus Firas. That was a barn burner.
Arguably meant for a co-main event, for sure. For sure.
I mean, Firas put up such a fight against Yi Xiang that Yi Xiang had to rely on his grappling.
Yes, this was the first time I seen Yi Xiang actually turn into a fighter that I've not really seen before. In most of his previous fights, Yi Xiang always showcases his striking, but this time when Yi Xiang was brought underwater, he had to switch the game plan and become a grappler instead. But in the same time, I've not seen that kind of grappling from Yi Xiang before, and I was impressed.
He's really good lah. Overall, he did really well. Reversed Firas a couple of times, and yeah, didn't get on the floor that much also. Prevented Firas all the takedown attempts, almost all I think. The takedown attempts.
And when it comes to Firas, Firas is just a dog, bro. He does not give up, bro. You know,
Yeah.
the fighting spirit that Firas has, bro, is just phenomenal. And that was just an amazing matchup, honestly. Would you say grand finals worthy of a matchup?
Yeah, but then again, we got Leon, you know.
Gonna be even more exciting.
Yeah. Leon's good, man. Like Leon, he's been training really hard. He's evolved quite a bit as a fighter. So, Yi Xiang versus Leon, I think somebody will go to sleep.
For sure.
Somebody will go to sleep. I don't think we will go all 5 rounds.
I don't think you're gonna see any of these guys grapple. That's for sure.
We'll see. Actually, we'll see. Because you have to understand that, like in Fight Fam and both in Prime Fight Club, or is it Central MMA now? Yi Xiang training at.
I think it's Prime.
I think it's either lah, but yeah, wherever Yi Xiang is training at, he's under Coach Kin no matter what.
Yes, that's for
So
sure.
Kin is a very all-rounder fighter. We remember him in Mima and everything.
course,
So
of course.
he knows how to not just have his fighters like really one-sided. You know, Yi Xiang is
Very
super
true.
well prepared
Very
overall.
adaptable, yeah.
Like how we see in the Firas fight. But I think Leon also being coached under Agilan Tani and Fight Fam in general, not just under Agilan, but with Xander and the boys. So he should be well prepared for Yi Xiang, but tough one.
Definitely.
Tough
definitely.
one. Yeah. Both these guys got 10 fights over, you know?
Oh yeah.
Both these guys got 10 fights over
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. Actually, yeah.
So it's gonna be a fun.
Leon as well. He's been fighting for a long time now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. This is a grand finals worthy match. Yeah.
For sure. I think on the topic, I think we're already like talking about the future fights. So let's talk about Bastien and Gary.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Bastien and Gary is gonna be a great fight.
It is. I don't know what to expect from it. I guess, I mean, if you're just watching the fight, like if you're just starting to watch the fight, you'd imagine that maybe Gary will try to bring things down to the ground instead, where he's more comfortable with, you know, against a person who's very aggressive with the striking, like Bastien is.
I call Gary like our Malaysian version of like Aljamain Sterling. Yeah, he loves getting on the back and then straight away backpack his opponent. So I think if that were to happen, like Gary manages to get the back of Bastien, it's very hard for me to imagine Bastien getting out of it.
Right.
Yeah, because once Gary is on your back, like he's not coming off.
Right.
He's just glued there.
And
you know?
I guess that I wanted to say the Grand Prix, but I think throughout the entire of Rage, whenever we've seen Bastien fight, we've never really seen Bastien sort of like tested on the ground before.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, because, well, the people who fight Bastien, it usually doesn't go long enough to be on the ground. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess this will be an interesting challenge for Bastien as well.
Yeah, but it's also a big challenge for Gary to try to get him on the floor lah. Because the fight with Ting Eli, also Gary struggled.
Yes,
he couldn't get Eli on the floor. But then again, Ting Eli is like really good off his defense. So we don't know if Bastien has similar experiences grappling as Ting Eli. But I think if it goes to the floor, Gary might just take it home. But if Gary can't take it to the floor, then it's gonna be a 5-rounder, man.
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, I'm saying that it's a 5-round hell for Gary. You know,
Yeah,
he has to try to
definitely.
survive all the way there.
Either ways, I totally forgot that now that we're fighting for a title on the grand finals, it's going to be a 5-round fight. So perhaps the game plan is, you know, these guys change up their game plans a little bit more. Maybe they're going to hold back a little bit more throughout the first the first 2-3 rounds maybe.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And then I think we got one more to talk about. We got Aloysius and Alvin.
Ooh.
Alvin was present during the event
Yes.
to support his teammates, but
Yes,
then
yes.
for the main event, for the main card, I think he left.
Unfortunately, left.
Yeah, he left, so he couldn't get the face-offs. But Alvin's got a really tough one because that one's a big height difference. Yeah.
And I did actually get the chance to speak to Alvin before the Grand Prix matches started. And Alvin gave me his thoughts on both fighters, both Kelvin and Aloysius. And he told me either one he's ready for the both of them.
Yeah.
He has a game plan for the both of them. So that's awesome, bro. I'm excited, man.
I mean, dude's just ready to fight anybody. I remember when he was supposed to, his first fight, I think. He was scheduled to fight this guy who missed weight like 8 kilos.
Oh, yes,
8 kilos or 6 kilos over.
Yes.
We did the penalty on him and then he still agreed to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alvin's a dog.
He's always down to fight, bro.
Yeah, he's a dog like that.
Whether it's a higher weight class or whatever it is, bro, he's always down to fight.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
So we had that little issue. But of course, with every fighter, we always appreciate those who are always down to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think that's it that we have to talk about for the Grand Prix. Let's recap a little bit about the main event.
Hey.
Yeah.
So, Daniel, tell us, what is the main event for May 10th looking like?
Oh, for May 10th. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the future events. We were looking for sponsors and we actually managed to get one. And this one sponsor is willing to sponsor for the entire tournament of the Super 4. So that's gonna be a completely different belt, which we're gonna show on our social media, the new belt design. That's gonna be for the professional Super 4 belt. So there's a lot of categories for us to look at when doing the professional Super 4, but judging through all our previous fights, we do find that the most exciting category is flyweight.
Definitely.
So due to that, and plus we already have a flyweight amateur champion, we decided to just push that category first for our first professional Super 4. And of course, if we get more sponsors, we are very open to do other professional categories as well, because we are trying to look for another one, see if we can open up for a different category. So that's how we want to push forward with our professional tournaments in the future. And we always have like one-off professional fights. That's how we tend to do here in Rage. But to have like an actual pro belt and having not just like Malaysians fighting for it. We have Southeast Asia.
Yep.
We got, for this particular Southeast Asia Super 4, of course, Malaysia. And then we have Philippines, Indonesia, and Singapore. All 4 fighters have already been selected. Yeah. The professional Super 4 fighters representing Malaysia will be Fazli Nazir. And then from Singapore, Furkan.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the thing that I was talking to Furkan about before his Oliver fight. I say, if you win this fight, there might be something for you. So he won, and then he was like, so Dan, what's up? And I was like, oh, yeah, right. You got professional Super 4, I want you to debut. So
And
he said yes. He said
like
yes.
on the spot.
Yeah, on the spot.
Gotta love the kid.
And you know when I called him, he was actually going through an exam.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Furkan is so young. He's still doing his exams. He was like, Dan, can you call me back? I got paper to do now.
Bro, sometimes we forget that Furkan is still so young, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's young, but when he fights, he doesn't look like that at all.
Yeah, dude's got a lot of skills and a lot of heart. Next up, from the Philippines, we have Francis. Francis is actually a really good amateur over there. He'll be debuting professionally for our Super 4 as well. Very aggressive fighter. We've watched a few of his videos. So this guy is going to be a very exciting match. But you notice the fights that we're putting up here for the Super 4, it's really, really exciting. We've got Fazli, who's like crazy with the hands, really good with the wrestling. We've got Furkan, who's super aggressive as well. And then the final one, the final person from Indonesia, fought with us before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he fought against one of our Malaysians named Murugan. His name is Fatku Rozi.
Ah, okay.
So Fatku Rozi will be coming back here to Rage, and he'll be fighting in our Super 4 as well. So we find that, I do find that Fatku, his other fights in Indonesia, right, he's really exciting as a fighter.
Right.
Really, really exciting. And not to mention that he actually represents Indonesia in Gamma World Championships.
Oh.
Same as Teguh. Teguh also represented Malaysia.
Yeah.
But
not to also mention that I think Fatkur is the only one who's had pro experience, right?
yeah, it's got 2-0.
Yeah, he's too old. Not like our other debutees.
Yeah, so the other 3 flyweights, they're all debuting. Like Francis, we've got 4 Fs. Francis, Fazli, and Furkan. They are debuting their professional career, but for Fatku Rozi, he's already got 2-0. But then again, the amateurs that's coming in, they've actually had racked up loads of fights.
Top tier, yeah.
Yeah, so these guys are ready no matter what. It's just a matter of removing the shin pads and wearing the 4-ounce gloves. Yeah. So that's coming up for May 10th. And I already kind of had the athletes in mind beforehand. That's why, like, when people were messaging me on Rage DMs, it was like, oh, can we still join? I was like, okay, sorry, man. We've already made up our mind about this way before.
Maybe the next one.
Maybe the next one if we open up. But I would want to say this, these professionals, whoever wins the belt, will have to defend. will have to defend or they will relinquish the belt. When they relinquish the belt, then we can open for contenders lah, to crown our new champions.
right. Okay.
So this belt is here to stay. Yeah, this flyweight belt is here to stay.
Awesome.
That's how we were gonna do it. And then hopefully we can have more sponsors to come in. We can open up different categories to begin the Super 4 tournaments. Then
Sick, bro.
we'll have more lah, you know.
Sick.
Trying to transition our way to the professional scene. It's very difficult, but we try our best.
Title defenses, bro. That already sounds exciting, bro.
Yeah, that'll be dope. That'll be dope. But I guess if I want to dive deeper about the pro side of why we do the professional fights, is mainly to help build the records of whichever fighter out there in Southeast Asia that wants to fight like Alexander Khan. You know, we gave Jace and Alexander a chance to fight. These guys are very well matched, but Alexander got the win. And you see what happened after Alexander won?
He signed with one championship.
Yeah. Just after Alexander Khan after he won. Even Kevin Church when he first came.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin Church.
I'm not sure if Kevin had any other fights after Rage, but I think it was pretty soon, like right after the pro match in Rage, he kind of got signed with one as well, right?
Not soon, I think like a few months after. Yeah, but that's the important part of why we do the professional fights. We want people to get the exposure, and then now with the Super 4, they're fighting twice. So they can get 2 wins off the bat, 2 back-to-back wins. That would give them a better chance at entering like bigger competitions. So we want to try. We here at Rage, we don't want to try to like compete with like, you know, championships like One Championship or even smaller ones like Canggu Fight Night. We don't want to compete with them, but what we want to do is we want to give them a chance for that so that these athletes can propel into a professional career. That's the goal lah.
That's the goal, and that has always been the goal. It's always been for the fighters in Rage.
Yeah, we try to build your careers in that sense. So happy to see Alexander getting signed with One. So all the best to Alexander Khan. But I'm hoping that from the Super 4, we can try to get a few guys out there as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, especially our champions. Whoever wins the championship belt, we will try to push them into bigger organizations.
Yeah, that'll be huge.
If not one, try to get them into UAE Warriors. That'll be dope. UAE Warriors would be nice.
Yeah.
Or Ryzen. Far-fetched. Far-fetched.
Maybe UFC, I don't know.
Okay, I guess that's all we have to share here for Rage Mixed Martial Arts about what has happened and what's about to happen for Rage MMA. But I would like to give a big thank you to all participants and gym owners for participating in our show. And it's been very pleasing to watch the growth of mixed martial arts, not just like people coming in and fighting with us. I mean, we can see that from the registrations, but we also get to see the growth of mixed martial arts, particularly back at your gyms. Because I can see from most of your gyms, MMA classes are growing.
Yeah.
Fight Fam, like I feel like y'all need to expand bigger already.
A lot of gyms, yeah.
Kin, to Coach Kin, I'm pretty sure your class also very ketat. So I'm very happy to see, and it's not just that. Tempoh Jarak Dekat.
Yeah.
TJD is growing over in Sarawak, in Kuching.
Huge amount of guys there.
Miri also, I can see your classes is growing from Warmongers. So the things that we do here for the community, we love to see it reflect overall with everybody, and that just does not like limit to us just here making fight events and having fighters, but it also propels gyms and businesses to grow, and this is what we love. We love to see that.
This is why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Mainly for the sport, to grow the sport in this country.
Yeah, so very happy to see the growth of mixed martial arts all overall, and also not to mention about Penang side lah, Wasp and Octagon. Your MMA classes also growing, and everyone in general. There's probably more for me to mention about the gyms that we are tied with or experienced with, Muay Fit versus. So very happy to see the growth of mixed martial arts. So y'all do your thing, y'all go out there, you coach, find your students, and then come fight at our event.
Send them here.
Send them here. Send them here for a nice experience, and then we will see our industry grow, and that's what we want. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Peace.
Ciao.